Hi guys, today I'm doing a flip through of the Wild Offering Oracle by Tosha Silver. It's a 52 card deck. The artwork is by Katie Daisy. Basic cardboard box with an introductory card which is just taped to the inside of the box. Now this is a deck about giving it all to God, and this was the first deck that I ever owned. I was wanting to participate in an online session, and the leader said everybody has to have an oracle deck. I said, what the hell is that? Went on Facebook Marketplace, found something cheap and close, and this is what I got. But that said, you guys know the universe is always working to our advantage and to our benefit. So this was actually the perfect deck for me to have, because I've always, as an introduction to oracle cards, because I've always had a very strong connection to God. I've always spoken directly to God, the angels, my guardian angel. I've had multiple divine experiences, just so it all kind of like made sense. But that being said, I had no idea what an oracle deck was and how to actually use it and stuff. So I was completely clueless when I got this. Just jumped in to do that 12-day sort of like, I don't know what kind of session to call it, but exploration session or whatever. And I didn't really find that the cards resonated very much. I went through the motions and stuff, pulling a card every day. But after that, I thought, okay, I just want to do a little bit of reading about oracle cards and how to handle them and how to work with them and all that kind of stuff. And then I started drawing a card for myself every day. And the more I handled the deck and used it, the more the messages began to resonate. So, I really like this deck because it does have some teeth to it. It's not all fluffy and, and whatnot. It does actually have some edginess to it, which, I like as well. So, as you can see from the artwork on the back of the card, it is one way. And the more decks that I've accumulated, the more I realize I sort of like the decks where you can't tell if the card is reversed or not. So that's just one thing. And what else? Okay, so like I had this deck for a while, and then, handling it more and more and whatnot, basically just for myself. But then I was asked to do a party, and the hostess said that there were only going to be 6 people who wanted readings, so like don't worry about it and blah blah blah. So this was the only deck that I had, so I go to the party and I do these readings, and like it was amazing because first of all, like I had no privacy. There was like the table and my chair and the person across from me who wanted the reading, and then other people sitting around watching. So that was kind of interesting. And then with the spread that I was doing, I couldn't believe how incredibly powerful this deck was. Every reading was so incredibly different. People were crying and all this kind of stuff. It was really truly amazing. And the other thing that I wanted to say is, I don't know if it's just, well, it's the way that I do the readings, but the main word on the card would act like a small anchor, and I would when I was reading for these other people, I never read this message ever. This one word would be sort of the starting point, and all this other information on the periphery would come funneling in. And it was that information linking the different cards that I had drawn, which was just giving incredibly powerful meaning to the person who is receiving the reading. So, it's like these messages are really great and very kind and whatnot, and very anchoring. But as with any oracle deck, you use it because you are the oracle. So it's just sort of, you're the tuning fork that is receiving the information and the vibrations and whatever it is that is coming through as a message from the divine, that that is something that is you're to draw your attention to. So I have to say that I do like this deck. I don't use it as much anymore now that I have other decks, but it still is a very sort of gentle deck that is not threatening in the least. Not that there's anything such as harsh energy. There's just energy. There's no such thing as bad energy or good energy. There's just energy. So with this deck, I do feel that it's one that has worked extremely well for me and continues to do so. But as you increase your spiritual connection to the universe, and sort of as you continue to exercise your spiritual muscle as an oracle yourself, you are drawn to different decks that have maybe a little different weight to them and different energies, and you can handle more. But this is still a really good deck to have in your catalog as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's it. I hope you had a chance to see all the cards and that this was useful. So thanks. I'll see you next time.